On May 4, 1982, the South Atlantic was rocked by an event that would redefine naval warfare. HMS Sheffield, a modern British destroyer, was on patrol, seemingly safe, unaware that two Argentine super-Etendard jets were closing in, each armed with a deadly Exocet missile. The attack was swift, a blip on a radar, a confused warning, then a devastating impact. The missile didn't explode, but its rocket fuel ignited, turning the ship's interior into an inferno. The destroyer's radar had been switched off to allow satellite communications, leaving her blind to the low-flying attackers. The Exocet struck above the waterline, tearing through the hull and igniting everything in its path. Thick, toxic smoke filled the corridors, choking the life from the ship and crew. 20 men lost their lives, and the pride of the Royal Navy became a burning wreck, a brutal lesson in the realities of modern conflict. The attack on Sheffield was a turning point, exposing vulnerabilities in even the most advanced warships. The world watched as the Royal Navy faced a new era of warfare. The Falklands War was rooted in a centuries-old dispute over the remote South Atlantic islands. Falklands to the British, Malvinas to the Argentinians. In 1982, Argentina's military junta, desperate to distract from domestic turmoil, invaded the islands, overwhelming the small British garrison. The move shocked London and forced Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher to act, launching a massive naval task force 8,000 miles from home. The British faced immense logistical challenges, while Argentina's air force operated from mainland bases, giving them a home advantage. The war became a clash of worlds. British resolve to defend self-determination versus Argentina's drive to reclaim what they saw as stolen land. The islands, windswept and sparsely populated, became the stage for a conflict that would capture global attention. The sinking of HMS Sheffield would soon become a defining moment, demonstrating the lethal power of modern weaponry. The stakes were high, and the outcome uncertain. The world braced for a new kind of war. The Argentine Navy's plan to strike the British fleet was a blend of intelligence, daring, and technology. With only 5 super-Etendard jets and a handful of Exocet missiles, Argentina's pilots trained relentlessly for this moment. On May 4th, 2 jets, led by Capitan Bedacarats and his wingman, launched from Rio Grande, each armed with a single Exocet. Supported by a Neptune patrol aircraft for targeting, they flew just 50 feet above the waves, evading British radar. Near the target, they popped up, locked onto the British ships, and fired their missiles. The Exocets screamed toward the fleet at over 600 man to Poitiers. The pilots turned for home, not knowing if they'd struck their target. Their mission, codenamed Muerte, Death, had unleashed a new threat on the Royal Navy. The element of surprise and precision flying made the attack possible. The fate of HMS Sheffield was sealed in those few tense minutes. The first warning came as a faint radar trace on HMS Glasgow, which quickly broadcast the code word handbrake. Exocet attack imminent. But a communications breakdown meant the warning never reached HMS Sheffield. Sheffield's main radar was off, and her electronic support systems were mismanaged by an inexperienced operator. By the time the threat was recognized, the missiles were seconds away. Lookouts spotted a puff of smoke on the horizon, then the terrifying sight of an incoming missile. There was no time to launch Sea Dart missiles or deploy chaff. One Exocet missed, but the other struck Sheffield, tearing a massive hole in her side. The warhead didn't detonate, but the rocket fuel ignited a deadly fire. The ship was left crippled, her fate sealed by a chain of errors and misfortune. The attack exposed the vulnerabilities of even the most advanced warships. The Exocet's impact was a violent jolt. Not an explosion, but the real killer was fire. Rocket fuel sprayed across compartments, creating an inferno and filling the ship with toxic smoke. Power failed, plunging the interior into darkness, and the fire mains were severed, leaving only portable pumps to fight the blaze. Damage control teams fought heroically, but the fire spread rapidly, fed by flammable materials. Steel bulkheads buckled, escape routes vanished, and chaos reigned below decks. For hours, the crew battled to save their ship, aided by nearby vessels, but the fire was too intense. With the ship listing and control lost, Captain Sam Salt ordered abandon ship. Survivors, blackened and shocked, watched as their home burned on the horizon. The loss was devastating, a testament to the ferocity of modern naval combat. Sheffield's agony was a warning to navies everywhere. The attack on Sheffield showcased the deadly effectiveness of 1980s military technology. The French-made Exocet was a sea-skimming, fire-and-forget missile, nearly impossible to detect until seconds before impact. The Super Etendard jets, fast and equipped with Agave radar, delivered the Exocet with precision. Sheffield's Sea Dart missiles were designed for high-altitude threats, not low-flying missiles like the Exocet. Electronic warfare systems and chaff rockets were in place, but procedural errors and late warnings rendered them useless. The Argentinians used their limited resources with tactical brilliance, maximizing the Exocet's impact. On May 4th, offensive technology outpaced defense, changing naval warfare forever. The lessons of Sheffield would shape future ship design and tactics. The loss of HMS Sheffield was the result of a chain of failures, technical, procedural, and human. The main radar was switched off for satellite communications, leaving the ship blind. The electronic support suite detected the threat, but the operator misidentified it, causing a fatal delay. Communications breakdowns meant warnings from HMS Glasgow never reached Sheffield in time. Operational complacency and a lack of appreciation for the missile threat left the crew vulnerable. The Board of Inquiry later revealed a perfect storm of errors and misjudgments. The Argentinian pilots exploited this window with lethal precision. In modern warfare, even a brief lapse can be catastrophic. The loss of HMS Sheffield shocked Britain. It was the first Royal Navy warship lost in combat since World War II. The burning ship became a symbol of the war's risks and the human cost, hardening national resolve. The Royal Navy immediately adapted, tightening air defense and changing tactics to counter the Exocet threat. Ships were repositioned, and special forces targeted Argentine air bases. Despite further losses, the British campaign pressed on, culminating in the recapture of the islands after 74 days of conflict. Sheffield, too damaged to save, sank beneath the South Atlantic, becoming a war grave. Her loss was a painful blow, but the lessons learned were invaluable. The Royal Navy and others studied the event, leading to major changes in ship design and tactics. The sacrifice of Sheffield's crew shaped the future of naval warfare. Their story endures as a reminder of the cost of conflict. HMS Sheffield's story is a powerful lesson in the interplay of courage, technology, and the chaos of war. The sinking proved that even the most advanced ships could fall to a single missile, forcing navies to rethink strategy and design. The tragedy was not one failure, but a cascade of small errors: radar off, signals misread, warnings delayed. The crew's bravery in fighting to save their ship stands as a testament to human resilience. The event highlighted the need for better training, technology, and readiness. The names of the 20 men lost are etched in memory, a permanent reminder of war's true cost. Sheffield's sacrifice reshaped naval doctrine and saved countless lives in conflict.